Hi, I'm Jordan from Kettner Creative. In this video, we're going to show you the Audio-Technica AT2020 Condenser microphone. For this video, we have it connected to the solid-state logic SSL2 audio interface. You can see that the gain is set, and of course we did need the 48 volts of phantom power from this audio interface because this is a condenser microphone. If you're curious about pricing or exact specs that are not covered in this video, we have a ton of links in the description below. Not only do we have the pricing and specs for the microphone that we're featuring, the AT2020, but also anything else that you see in this video, we have the pricing and specs for everything. So if something catches your attention, you can just check out the link for more information if you want to look it up. Now, before we go into the specs of this microphone, let's talk about what you get when you open the box. When you buy the Audio-Technica AT2020, you get the microphone itself, you get a clip for the microphone or a stand adapter, it's not actually a clip, and you get a leather pouch with some documentation as well. In terms of specs for this microphone, the one that we're featuring in this video has an XLR connector. There is a separate USB version of this microphone as well. This is a fixed charge backplate, permanently polarized condenser microphone. It has a cardioid polar pattern. It has a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. It has an impedance of 100 ohms. It has a sensitivity of -37 dB. It weighs about 12.1 ounces or 345 grams. So far, we've been speaking about 2 fists away from the microphone, which is fairly common with a microphone like this. But now let's hear what it sounds like when you get up close. So this is what the proximity effect of the AT2020 sounds like when you get really close to the microphone. And now we're back to being about 2 fists away from the microphone. Now let's hear what it sounds like if you had to put the microphone out of the shot and it was about 2.5 feet away. So this is what the AT2020 sounds like when you're about 2.5 feet away from the microphone. In terms of plosives, let's hear what this microphone sounds like when we have something with a strong P sound. Pink Panther, Pink Panther. Now let's try it with the windscreen on. Pink Panther, Pink Panther. Now let's hear what this microphone sounds like as we speak around the microphone. This is what the front of the microphone sounds like. This is what the top of the microphone sounds like. This is what the back of the microphone sounds like. And now we're back at the front of the microphone. Next, let's hear what this sounds like with a keyboard. This is what it sounds like when you type on a keyboard that resembles the keyboard of an average laptop. This is what it sounds like if you have a clicky pen and you're taking notes during a podcast recording. This is what it sounds like if you had to rip your paper, crumple it up, and throw it away while you're speaking. This is what this microphone sounds like if you accidentally bump it. Next, we're going to compare this microphone to some common microphones that not only are compared to it on a regular basis, but they also sit inside the same price range. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like. This is what the Rode PodMic sounds like. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like. This is what the Rode PodMic sounds like. Now, I like both microphones much better with their optional windscreen, so this is what they sound like. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like with the optional windscreen. This is what the Rode PodMic sounds like with the optional windscreen. This is what the Audio-Technica sounds like with the optional windscreen. This is what the Rode PodMic sounds like with the optional windscreen. Next, we're going to compare this to the Neat Workerbee. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like. This is what the Neat Workerbee sounds like. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like. This is what the Neat Workerbee sounds like. Now, let's hear what both of these sound like with the optional pop filters on them. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like with the foam windscreen. This is what the Neat Workerbee sounds like with its optional pop filter. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like with its optional windscreen. This is what the Neat Workerbee sounds like with its optional pop filter. Next, we're going to compare the Audio-Technica AT2020 to the Rode NT1. This is what the Audio-Technica AT2020 sounds like. This is what the Rode NT1 sounds like. This is what the Audio Technica AT2020 sounds like. This is what the Rode NT1 sounds like. Now we're going to compare these two microphones with the Audio Technica having its foam windscreen and the Rode NT1 having the SM6 shock mount and windscreen. This is what the Audio Technica AT2020 sounds like with its foam windscreen. This is what the Rode NT1 sounds like with the SM6 shock mount and windscreen. This is what the Audio Technica AT2020 sounds like with its foam windscreen. This is what the Rode NT1 sounds like with its optional SM6 windscreen. Okay, so what do I like about this microphone? So in terms of overall, I think that this sounds great. I think you're getting a ton of value. I like the form factor better than all three of these microphones. It's smaller, it's lighter, you can get it in exactly where you need it, and that will appeal to a lot of live streamers and people that are needing to get microphones into their setup or integrated into where they are a little bit better with something that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more flexible. And I think this microphone has a great overall value, and I think it has a fairly natural and flat response, especially considering its price point. Obviously, it's not going to be the most amazing, but I really do think the value is there for this type of microphone. Now, what do I not like about this microphone? Compared to all three of these options, without the foam windscreen, it had noticeably worse plosive protection. Even with the foam screen on, I think all three of these beat in that comparison as well. So that is something I definitely would highly recommend at a minimum, foam windscreen like this, or a pop filter, or some other layer of plosive protection with this microphone. I think it is very sensitive to that. Now, when we compare it to all three of these microphones, I think it performed well overall, but I think in all three cases, I liked things about these other three microphones more than I liked it about the AT2020, aside from the small form factor of the AT2020. The Rode PodMic, being a dynamic microphone, I feel like it would take a better beating and would last longer. Just the overall weight and feel of this microphone, I feel like you could throw it in your backpack, take it to a friend's house, record a podcast, throw it back in your backpack and bring it back. But you can't really... condenser microphones aren't really known for that portability or ability. So I give the PodMic the win just on rugged durability and weight and build quality. Compared to the Workerbee, I liked both the low end response without giving plosives and the high end crispness. I think it sounded better embellished on my voice anyway, where the Audio Technica AT2020 maybe sounded a hair flat. Obviously, you could EQ these differences away, but just out of the box, I did like the Workerbee better than the AT2020. And again, those two have a very similar price point. Compared to the Rode NT1, the Rode NT1 just has its notorious natural sound that I like and love about that microphone, where again, the AT2020 is just a little bit flat in comparison. But this makes it up with its small form factor and its ability to get it in where you need it. So it really depends on your use case and what you're doing. All three of these microphones are larger than this microphone is. So overall, I think this is a great buy. I think this microphone appeals more to streamers in terms of its small form factor and getting it in where you need it to if you're talking about talking head and applications for that. But again, I do think that there's a lot of value here if you can manage the plosives correctly. I really wouldn't want to be closer than this to this microphone just because of plosives, and I would never use this microphone without a windscreen of some type. Again, if you want pricing or specs for anything that you see in this video, we have tons of links in the description below. If you have any questions or comments about this microphone, I'd love to hear your questions or comments. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos about this microphone or about home recording equipment or home studio equipment in general, please like and subscribe. We do have a big playlist on this microphone with tons of information and connecting it to tons of different consoles and interfaces. So there will be a ton of information there for you to check out as well using the links below. Thank you so much for watching.